Good morning. It's Tuesday morning. We were scheduled to work at 6 o'clock this morning. We came in at 5, and at 5:30 dispatch said go ahead and get started. 7:48 right now. She had a run that was over at the shipping terminal next door that she wanted picked up and taken over to a warehouse right next door to our terminal. So we went over and picked that up, took it to the warehouse, and nobody was there yet. So we ended up putting that first container in our yard until they show up, I guess. And then we had a full load of dunnage material from the big box last night. So I hooked up to that, brought it into the shipping terminal. So now we can finally get started on the 3 runs that I was given to do today, where I was supposed to start at 6 o'clock. The first is, which is a really easy run. We're going to pick up a container that's going down to the Navy supply distribution. I was talking to the driver that's kind of dedicated to the Navy supply distribution, and he told me that he hooked up to this container yesterday, but it was on a genset chassis, and it was 3:30 in the afternoon, and there was nobody to flip it. So we're going to go finish up this run. It's located in Charlie 12, stall 22. Right now we're in Delta 12, stall 19. So it should be right next to us here somewhere. So let's get unhooked from our dunnage can here. Way down to Charlie 12, stall 22. Here. Charlie 12, stall 22. Let's give the tower a call and see maybe they fixed it. Can I get a container location, please? 885642. Yeah. Bravo 1622. Thank you. You too. Bye. All right. So let's head over to Bravo 16, stall 22. So this is Charlie 12 we're in right now. So he might have talked to the tower when he went home yesterday and told him that container needed to be flipped, and maybe the night crew did that. We'll see when we get over here if it's still on the genset chassis or not. Bravo 16. Is that the right number? No, that's not right. 885642. It's there. And it's still on a genset chassis. Okay. So let's get the stall 21. Bravo 16 stall 20. So now we're going to go find ourselves a nice 40-foot chassis. Doesn't have a shop sticker on it. Looks like it might be in good shape. I think this one right here will do. Not that one, this one. A little high, but we can fix that. Alright, let's go see how this chassis is doing. Lights. Lights. Able to connect. Missing a light. Oops. So now we're going to go down by the Coast Guard fence, talk to a supervisor, tell him my container is on a genset chassis. They'll send a hustler over here to pick it up. And then we'll meet in the back by a loader, and he'll pick it off of that chassis and put it onto my chassis. we're waiting for that to happen. It is pretty hazy. The loader out there to the right. You see the hustler straight ahead of us there. At the moment, the supervisor is doing something else, so we'll just wait for, right here for him to come back. I was able to give my information to the hustler there. Here comes the supervisor now. So yeah, there's a lot of waiting around in trucking. So it always makes the day easier if you have some snacks. In this case, we got some Triscuits. And sliced up pieces of cheese. Wash that down with the last of the coffee. So another supervisor came by. I gave them the same information, and now I just noticed they showed up. They're unlocking the pins. of waiting involved sometimes. So these guys are going to lock down the container. Located 7 miles away. All we have to do now is get the container outdated. So this area we're located, Sand Island, is a man-made island that's built from the spoils of dredging from the Honolulu harbor. So back in the day when they dredged out the harbor, there was a barrier reef here, and they just put all the spoils from the dredging on top of that barrier reef, turned it into an island. As a result, the land here is really soft, and it's really hard when you're putting all this weight on top of this land for it to hold up. And so they're constantly maintaining the integrity of the yard here. And I think it's one of the reasons we don't stack our containers as high as they do in some places. It's just the land we're on is, you know, old barrier reef. 40,000 pounds of freight headed down to the Navy Supply Distribution. That's actually kind of heavy for their cans. Might be topsoil or something, or water. Let's check in with dispatch, let them know what we're up to. Messing with the NEX. Alright. Bye. So yeah, they gave us 3 runs. All 3 of them are coming out of this shipping terminal. So when we get down to the Navy Supply Distribution Center, we call it the NEX, and drop off this full. We'll look around for an empty to bring back. Because the next 2 runs we do are easier than this run. This run's pretty easy, even though I like it because we actually get to get up onto the highway for about 5 miles and drive down past the airport. So it's 8:13. It's a little bit early for the DOT to be set up yet, but they might be. Every now and then they'll set up early. We'll know here in a second. The way station light is not blinking, which means not here yet. is almost guaranteed to be open here. But they're mobile, so they can be out at the Campbell Industrial today, for all we know. We'll know for sure around a little after 9. New shipping terminals, everybody seems to be hard at work there. Past the Amazon distribution center here on the right. I'm not a big shopper, and I do very little online shopping. In fact, if I have to buy something online, I usually ask my wife to do it. I mean, I know how to do it, it's just that more of a shopper than I am. She'll look at something and go, maybe we can get this at a better price. And she usually does. So we're just going to make our way up here to the Nimitz Highway. Our next run from the shipping terminal is a load of a food product, and we're going to take it to this food distributor right here on the right. But first we got to finish up the Navy supply distribution. Right now it doesn't look like there's any openings on the dock. Oh wait, no, there is one. That light perfectly. Normally it's at the lights where I get my chance to get caught up on paperwork. Has been there for as long as I've lived in Hawaii, I think. It's just the bridge. It's like, for whatever reason, they don't know how to make the bridge smooth. And then these potholes have been developing over the years. When I moved to Hawaii, this was being completed. It was just being completed. They weren't done yet, and the carpenters were on strike, so it took a while, but carpenters came back from strike, and then the concrete workers went on strike. And it just seemed like one union after the other followed suit. It took them another 2 years to kind of finish it off. Reminded of that because of the big strike over on the East Coast right now. Let's see if we can get this thing into 10th gear. about this run is that across the street from the Navy Supply Distribution Center is a 7-Eleven where I can go and get my second cup of coffee. Because this is my third run instead of my first run, it was supposed to be my first run, I think I deserve a second cup of coffee. It's all done. Section of rail that runs from the stadium to Middle Street actually has trains going up and down, and they'll run the trains for almost a year before they actually allow passengers out. Trying to make sure it's good to go. Well, I noticed that yesterday when I was driving around. Hey, the train is it's finally running on the rails. $5.75 for propane. Hi, Asmi.
How are you?
It's been a while.
6420. Go ahead and put it on dock 4, please.
Dock 4? Okay.
10-4, thank you. Thank you. It's gonna be a hot day.
Kind of like the last month.
It should be cooler now.
I always tell people that the middle of October is when it finally But they say the high is only 70. No, 85.
About
85, yeah.
85.
Yeah. All right, stay cool. Yeah, but it only cools to 72 degrees. I gotta keep the window rolled up. Okay, so now we gotta find ourselves an empty container. All right, I see them. I see at least one. So we'll put this on dock 4 and then we'll come back and we'll pick up this one here. Ah, yeah, they got a couple in. It's kind of early in the day to have empties, but those are probably left over from yesterday. New operations person. We never went on these docks before. These were all for export. Now they're receiving. I don't think I've ever spotted a container on this dock. 5, 6, and 7. First time on 4. Have to open the doors because they have little ramps just before the dock that pushes the back of the container up so that they can open the doors. Problem with that is you got to give a little extra power to get up the ramp, and then you hit the dock a little harder than you want. I think that looks good. You know what? I'm going to come off the dock just a little tiny bit. There we go. That looks good. So we dropped number 3. just dumping a little air out of the airbag so we don't get a big pop when we come out from underneath. Little pop. That's it, we're shutting it down, 440. Got all kinds of lights on. There we go. 440. We started at 5:30. Trying to stay away from the 12-hour days. 14 container movements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. But we didn't drive that much. 107 miles. We're scheduled to work tonight, but usually on Tuesdays they can find somebody. But we're on the schedule every Tuesday and Friday night, at least until they go on vacation. But yeah, it was a good day. It went by fast. When you do that many container movements, it just flies by. Of course, it's 12 hours. So. We're headed home. We made a bunch of food last night. We got salad and rice and beans, and we're gonna add a pizza to the mix. So pizza and salad basically is what for dinner. If you're still hungry after that, you can have some beans and rice. But that is it for today. Thanks for watching. Aloha.